Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 48 of my Let's Build series! Thank you so much for coming to this video! Today we are going to be attempting to build up a library in the interior, directly underneath where I am standing right now. I'm up at the top of my palace right now, but right below this tower right here is actually where our library is going to go, all the way down there. And I would like to also connect that to here somehow. It might even just be through a water elevator. I don't really mind which way. But I'm gonna go ahead and go inside and see if I can get all of those fine details worked out. Will you come with me? Oops, starting the episode with a creeper kill. It's always good. I've still got to work out lighting. I know. I'll get there. It's just not my favorite part. So here is our interior hallway. We worked on this a couple episodes ago, I think. I honestly can't even remember at this point. We've done so many episodes. But this main tower that I was just standing above right there is where we're going to be building our library up. So I would like to get some curved bookshelves around here to kind of make this a little bit more of a circle since it's kind of leaning in with the roof. And then this central area will hopefully maybe have like a little bit of a table and just make it look very library-like. And then over here we're going to have our master bedroom sort of plan. And we also need to be able to cross over to the other side of the island from up here because we have this canal cutting everything in half. So I think a bridge would probably be useful. Because bookshelves need silk touch to break, otherwise you'll just get books, I'm actually going to use dirt in place of bookshelves while I'm planning out this space. I hope that'll save me a little bit of grief of having to break the books if I don't like what I've done with them. But you know what? Maybe I'll get it right on the first shot and it won't even matter. So I think what I'm going to do is sort of curve it like this. Is that even? Yes, that is perfectly even, just like that. So then we'll have that curve go all the way up and we'll have some pillars tucked in here somehow. Maybe like right here could be a pillar. And right here, and then as well maybe here and here, so then it's like less bookshelves, and we'll add in some looms to look like empty bookcases, and maybe just some areas of plain oak, little sitting areas, shelves, areas to get up and down, all of that good stuff. Let's get started with these pillars though. I always like to start my interiors and my exteriors with a good pillar. So I think that looks good, but a really tricky part of this is going to be working with the fact that this is sloping, because we've kind of got these awkward areas where the pillars stop. So I think what I'm going to do is probably drag a beam across there and then a beam across here. And hopefully that'll add some continuity between those layers. And also I would like to have this floor come all the way across here and maybe just have like a hole in the middle. And then we can have some sort of access up there. Although I don't think I want to have access through the library. Maybe just through ladders or something like that, because I don't want this space to be taken up with a big, massive staircase. Let's see where I can go with this. So I'm going to start up here by just expanding out this layer. This should give me a better idea of how much space I've got out there, and I'll also be able to add some more support pillars within, and that'll just make this area and the roof look a lot more supported. Obviously we need to have pillars like this just to make it look structurally sound, because this is such a massive structure. It's gonna need to be like that even just for realism, because, you know, although we're not perfectly basing this off of any real-life structure, I do want it to look somewhat realistic, like it could actually stand and not topple over, so that's going to be kind of important. Alright, so now that I'm looking at this from down here, I can actually tell that that's not at all where I want that floor to be. Oh! I've made you mad, haven't I? Where'd he go? What? That is so loud! Oh dear. Oh, there you are. Huh. Okay. As I was saying, I am going to actually raise this up. So this is going to be a little bit of a staircase, and it's actually going to go up so that the floor level is right here, so that on this layer you will only be able to see the terracotta and not the dark prismarine. I think that'll just be a better divide for this whole entire area, and I hope it'll make sense for a ceiling. Alright, so here's sort of the plan for the library. I've marked out the flooring of the top layer that we can now get to quite easily through that doorway right there. And I've marked in where I want our bookshelves to be. So now it's just the simple task of pretty much just putting in these bookshelves. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the ones on the wall in because I'm pretty sure this is exactly where I want them to be. And that's not going to change. I do, however, want to mix these up a little bit because I don't have a whole ton of bookshelves. So what I'm going to do is also throw in some looms. Now let me just grab some of that. There we go. And this, we'll make 32 of those and we'll just mix these in every now and then. I'm not sure exactly how often, but you know, mix them in accordingly and hopefully this will sort of add to the effect a little bit. Yes, I think that looks quite cool in through here. It really breaks it up quite a lot. I'm really enjoying that. I think the next thing I'm going to do is sort of on the side, every now and then in certain places, I would like to have some of these sort of just layers where you can like get up closer to the rest of the books. And I'm not sure how often I'd like to have these, but like one right here might be really nice. Maybe we'll just wrap it all the way around like so. So you can kind of pop up onto this layer, and I might do some trap doors up here as well. I think that's going to really add to the library feel, especially since this is so tall. So basically we'll do another one then on this side. Let me place that torch back. But it'll go much, much higher. So maybe like right here instead, and then we'll do a layer here. So let me mark that in real fast, like right here. Yeah. That should add some variety to this area. Now I also do have to make sure that I mark in these pillars because I forgot to do that. So there's going to be one going right across, right like this. Hopefully that'll just break it up a little tiny bit, and then we can maybe do some like hanging lanterns or chandeliers to sort of take your attention off the fact that the roof is still there. Hopefully that should all go according to plan. Alright, so I've gone ahead and done some of the work here, putting in as many bookshelves and looms as I could. This is all I have on me currently, so in order to do more, I've of course got to go get some more bookshelves. And getting this amount of bookshelves is not an easy task, so I think I might save that half over there for a little bit later on, and we'll just get the general idea done today. So what I'm going to do right now is actually add in a little bit of this railing right here. So I'm just going to scatter these all the way along, doing some on the inside block and then some on the outside block. That way I can have a full railing all the way up here. I really like this effect. The new trapdoors give us so many amazing building options. I really like taking advantage of them. Let's get that one right there and that one right there. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's a railing. Now all I have to do is delete the dirt, and that shouldn't really affect any of these trapdoors. They should just be able to float. Perfect. Okay. Alright, there we go. There's some railing. I think we can also put some crafting tables, chests, barrels, and other random assorted items that we might find in a library up there. And now down here, I believe we sort of need a bit of a table. I'm not sure if I'd like to use scaffold for this. I think I definitely would like to use it in spots, but maybe not everywhere. Let me just put a torch there temporarily. I know it's kind of ugly, but you know, gotta get it in place for now. Let's maybe try something like this. So we can have a couple of tables and chairs over here. And then maybe along this wall, like I've kind of got this shelving right here. So I was thinking maybe I could do something like this, where I have sort of a desk type situation right here with a chair coming out of it slightly to the side. I don't want everything to be perfectly symmetrical. That's why I've done this side and this side different in shape so that we can do different things with each side. And I think this side having more desks for people of the palace to come and sit and read just makes a lot of sense. Maybe in some spots we can do some carpet, some really blue, because we don't have a lot of those blue colors up here right now, so it might be nice, maybe not that much, might be nice to tie in a couple of these rugs kind of throughout. Yeah, I kind of like the color that brings down here. I've also made a lectern. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put this lectern. Where could it go? Where could it go? We'll also need to put a book on it. I was thinking we could use these lecterns as almost like storybooks, so I could write some lore in here so people could actually come in the library and there would be a book to actually read. I think that could be a really fun way of doing it, because I know a lot of all of you have written some lore for this whole palace, so that could be a fun way to include it in the Grand Library. It is officially the next day in terms of recording, and I actually had one of my classes canceled, so I decided to go ahead this morning and do the other side of the library, which I think just brings the whole room together. We can definitely get a good idea of what I'm going for here now. Obviously, it's going to reach way up into the top parts of the tower as well, but this gives us a really good feel for the atmosphere. I also went ahead and flipped around all of those looms so that they look like empty bookshelves now. Before, I just sort of had them placed in a little bit randomly, but now those are all fixed up. All of the platforms are in. I started on a little railing up there. I did some planters up here, which I think is going to look lovely once I get the rest of those in. We definitely need lots more green all around here. Overall, I'm really happy with this room, and I hope you are all happy with how it came out as well. I do think this room still needs a couple of things, like I think I might do some sort of display right here in the center with maybe a table and chairs sort of deal, and of course we've got to do the upstairs as well and the entrance to the master bedroom. But overall, I'm really happy with how this came out, so definitely give me your feedback. I'm excited to hear it. Now that the library is feeling a little bit more completed, I think it is about time that we move on to our comment or question of today. And today's comment or question of the day comes from Andy, who says, I don't know why, but it's so aesthetic. I love the palace, even though this is the first vid I've watched of it. It seems I'm a bit late, but the way you comment on your builds is just so funny and cute at the same time. Your voice is so soothing too. I don't know, I hope I don't sound too weird, but I really love your build. It's crazy to think you built this all in survival mode. I'm blown away. Andy, thank you so much for the kind comment. Don't worry, I don't think you're weird. It's perfectly okay. I'm really glad that you have all been enjoying the palace and watching it come together. I was thrilled at the response to the last episode. I know a lot of you are recently coming to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this series. It means a lot to me because the series is just so special. We've been working so hard on this palace for so long, and I can't wait to show it off to you all in episode 50, and of course give you the world download. This world is really coming to life one piece at a time, and I'm so proud of how far myself and my community have come since we started this series. It's crazy to even think about to me, so thank you so much for supporting me on this journey while I learn how to record Let's Builds and switch editing software and learn how to edit and learn stuff about audio and learn how to play in survival. It's been so fun. And yeah, just thank you. And also, thank you for all the happy birthdays that you all have given me. I really appreciated it. It was a lot of fun reading those, and I'm sorry for missing last week, but since last week's episode was supposed to be updated on my birthday, I decided to just take my birthday off. Sorry for not telling you about that in advance, but sometimes stuff comes up. Very sorry. Before I end off today's episode, I would like to show you a couple things in this garden area that I've been sort of working on. First of all, as you can see, I've added some coral down here by our underwater terrariums. It definitely needs more coral yet, but this was a very good start into sort of dressing it up and livening it up. And we still don't have any fish spawning. I am in the latest version of the game, 1.14.2. but it doesn't appear to have had any effect, and I think that's because our aquariums are filled with fish right now, so those are taking up the passive mob spawning cap. So I might have to do something to figure that out to get this place back to life again, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. The other thing I've been doing is adding some of these beautiful palm trees. So this is meant to be a tropical palace on a tropical island. It's meant to be super warm feeling and very lush. So I need to get a lot of these palm trees spread out all over the place. And I think this was a really good start for me getting my scale right. I definitely want the palm trees to stand out, but palm trees naturally are of course very thin. They're not like big oak trees where you could just make them super big and sort of fit in. They're kind of thin and small with a little poof at the top. I'm hoping that doing them this size makes them work with the palace. I think it does. Let me just fly out real fast so you guys can look at them again. I think the size works. I will land right here. I definitely need to adjust the leaves. From here I can tell that I need some leaves like right here and kind of poofing up in some different directions. But I'm not too worried about that. I can always adjust leaves. I'm mostly worried about the scale of them. And I think it's good. This palace is very overwhelming, for sure. I mean, it's completely taken over the island. So I want to sort of bring the life back to the island a little bit with these trees. Anyways, with all of that said, I think I'm going to end this episode here. I know, finally a decently length episode where it's not like 30 minutes of me rambling. You're welcome. This was a really fun episode to record. I hope you've enjoyed the library and some little updates around here, and I'm excited to see you on episode 49, the last episode before our world tour and download. I'm hyped for that. I hope you are too, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye!